Fun day, fun day. Fun day, fun day, fun day. I'm actually heading to dump all the junk in the back of my truck. My Sprinter van. And then I'm going to load up a full house clean out for a friend of mine. So that's pretty cool. Not a friend of mine, a customer of mine that now is my friend because of this job. You know, this has been a kind of an experience the last few weeks. And the last few weeks I've been really getting a lot of results from my customers. And I want to explain something to you. The simplicity of my job, I know gets me at least 50% of my jobs. Just the simplicity of it. That's what I want to talk about. Is the easier this job is to the customer, the faster you'll get through this job. Let's get into that video. Hey guys, my name is Ricardo. I am the owner of Junk Guys Junk Removal Service here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. I own Junk Guys Aledo, Junk Guys Frisco, Junk Guys Arlington, and the Junk Guys Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, junkguysdfw.net. And I also own 2 haunted houses because of my junk removal service. Now, because of my junk removal service, I was able to build these 2 huge haunted houses and fill them up with furniture and refrigerators and make them scary, because all the unwanted goods that I get from customers, I use them inside the haunted house. So I want to talk about how I gained these customers really quick. So about a week ago, I went to a lady's house and I showed up and I cleaned out the whole garage. Now, this is crazy. I only filled up about maybe a little more than 50% of my truck, of this van, Sprinter van. I filled up about 60% of the Sprinter van. And we were talking, and as we're just communicating together, she goes, well, you know what's funny is one of the reasons I hired you. And I said, oh, okay. And she said, yeah, it goes, it's because your website said the price of $400, and I knew I needed the full house, the full trailer. And I was just like, okay. And then she goes, I filled up right? And I go, I mean, yes, ma'am, you did. And she goes, so it's $400. And I said, yes. Bro, I knew that it wasn't $400, and I turned around and I said, you know, just give me $350. It's not all the way full. And she goes, oh, thank you. No, that's fine. She tipped me $100. I charged her $450. She paid me $450. She said that since the pricing was on my website and I got straight to the point, how easy it was. Okay, here's another one. And this happened, I think, Saturday. A customer called me and says, hey, these basketball goes, do you still remove them for $75? And I said, yes, sir. He goes, okay. Yeah, come and get mine. I'll leave a check on the basketball goal taped to it. And I said, okay, cool. Thanks. Done. And I did the job. And after the job was completed, the guy texts me. He says, bro, love your service. Easy and simple. I was like, thanks, man. Thanks. $4,500 taken out of my bank account, my Chime account, and it was fraud. And I have not got it back yet. Dealing with the bank, picking up the phone, calling them, dealing with it is so complicated. I mean, the thing is the hardest thing in the world. Just having to tell them, hey, this, tell them that. They make it so difficult to get your money back. And I was just like, dude, come on, give me an effing break. If they made it a lot simpler, a lot easier, you know, and here's what happens in junk removal. Is that I built and I designed find a business for me, to tailor for me. I built this business the way I wanted to, and the way it came simple to me. And one of the things that I wanted to be easy. I wanted the simplicity and accessibility to me. I average about maybe 5 to 10 bookings a week. If you thought that was good, you see what Frisco averages. Frisco does like 10 to 20 a week or more. It's crazy. But most of the customers that hire me, they'll hire me for the easiest things: refrigerators, mattress, hot tubs, satellite dishes, basketball goals, stoves. They know the price already. They already know what they're getting into when they call me. Isn't that crazy? And that's why they book online so much with me. And I use my booking platform. And just the other day, someone reached out to me and they're like, hey, we got this new AI, artificial intelligence booking platform where it will reply to the customer and tell them and upsell the customer. And I was like, what are you talking about, you know? And he goes, yeah, so like, let's say someone books a refrigerator, okay? And then you'll tell the customer, don't forget, we do trampoline removal for $150. We also do all the other appliances, $45. And I was just like, okay. And it'll tell you, automatically, right after they book it, they'll send them an email. And I'm like, you know what, dude? No thanks, dude. I don't need that. I don't need an upsell. I don't need someone telling my customers how much more it's going to cost them for other services when I'm already doing it online. I'm already doing it online. And the guy said, no, it's a reminder. It's like kind of a reminder. I said, nah, I'm good, man. I appreciate it. Simplicity. Simple stuff. So, one of my best jobs that I did last week was $1,000 exactly. $1,000. And I'm going to tell you, it was just one trailer load. One trailer load. I go to this lady's house. She gives me all this good stuff. All this good stuff. Oh my God. This stuff that I could use in my haunted house. And she said, you know, we get to talking, we get to be really good friends. Like we're having good argument, having good conversation. We're kind of life shit, you know what I mean? We're talking about life and stuff. And she says to me, she said, hey, Ricardo, you know why, one of the reasons I hired you? And I said, no, why? He goes, I had people that wanted to come out and do a free estimate just like you did. I said, oh, okay, yeah, they'll offer. But they were willing to send me a contract to come and do the free estimate. I was like, what? He goes, yeah, because they wanted to be sure that if I didn't go with them, that I could go with this and that. And I was like, I don't understand. He goes, yeah, well, one company that I called wanted to come out and do a free estimate, but they wanted me to fill out a form to do it. I was like, huh? So this junk removal service out of Dallas would come out and do a free estimate, but you had to fill out this form. I don't understand that. I guess it was like a text form or something. They would text you something, you hit the link, you put your address and all the stuff, and then they would come out and do a free estimate. She said, and I didn't feel like doing that. She said that some of the questions that was on the estimate was unrealistic. Like, if you don't hire us, when do you think you do your next junk removal? And how can we get your business? I was like, what? To me, I've done it all. I've done it all. I've done junk removal left and right, man. That is the most ridiculous thing. She said that when she called and I said I was only 15 minutes away because I was doing another job in Dallas. She said, come on down, let's just do it. And I was like, okay, cool, I'll be there in a minute. came down there. I hooked $1,000 job because accessibility and straightforwardness. Yeah. I built this donation website about a month ago. I built this badass website. It looks really good. And on the website, that I built, I talked about donations and how we charge for donations. And oh my God, I get so much business off this website. So much business, it's ridiculous. And the reason I'm telling you is because the website is simplicity. It tells you that we pick up donations for a certain price. And that we'll donate your stuff and not throw it in the dump. Simple stuff, simple stuff. And I think that's a lot where people mess up, where people don't understand how it's the easiest common sense simplicity, simple things that people do to explain what they offer, what their services are for an easy price. And that's how I get a lot of my jobs. You know, I know that there's companies out there like Home Advisor, Thumbtack, Nextdoor, Craigslist, and people get their jobs off these applications. And they jump. They're trying to do this so they don't have to have the hustle of actually going out and getting the jobs themselves. And I totally understand that. But when you're doing jobs for Home Advisor, Thumbtack, Craigslist, Nextdoor, you're working to get those jobs by posting on these websites. And then you're replying and then you're dropping your price and you're just sitting there back and forth. And it's the simplest thing in the world to let your website do all the work for you so you won't have to do any extra work. And I have a friend that does this. He sits there and he does this all day, right? He sits on Facebook Marketplace and he's dropping his price and he's lowering his price and he's like sitting there challenging other junk removal companies, and they go back and forth on the phone all the time. Listen, the only time that I'm going back and forth on the phone is when I got a customer already and we're going back and forth and seeing what time I'm going to be there. Being in this business so long gives me the authority and the chance to grow and expand my business while everybody else is spending their time going back and forth with customers for just a trampoline removal. Just to do one trampoline removal, you got to fight with 5 other companies. And that's how Thumbtack is. That's how Home Advisor is, House Call. That's how a lot of these small companies, check Sammy, oh my God. Jiffy Junk. You're sitting here arguing with these people back and forth just to get a good price. I don't deal with that stuff, man. That stuff is trash to me. It's trash. I remember Jiffy Junk reaching out to me, and they're like, hey, you can get on our list. Dude, this guy was like, listen, we need guys in the Dallas Metroplex. We can send you more jobs. You know, you need your insurance. You need that. Bro. I told the guy, how long have y'all been doing this? He goes, well, Jiffy Junk was established 5.5 years ago. And we got into the industry of junk removal about 3 years ago. And we have guys who've been here since about, I said, bro, I've been doing this 18 years. I do more jobs than Jiffy Junk gives away. I said, I don't need you to tell me for some guys that's been doing it for 3 years and understanding this industry. What are you going to tell me how to turn the wheel, bro? What are you going to tell me, bro? I said, there's nothing that's going to convince me that you know what you're doing more than I do. Nothing, bro. Nobody, listen, I'm at an age of 50 years old. Nobody's going to tell me how to run this business and do it a different way if it's been working for me. I've grown this business of junk removal to a scale that you're not going to tell me what to do. I had this guy hit me up the other day. He saw me in my Sprinter van, and he hits me up, and it was a junk removal business. I was at a gas station. He pulls up to me. God, I don't remember the name of it. It was like something junk. A decent name. I forgot what it was. And he pulls up. He goes, "Hey, man, what's up?" He goes, he saw my shirt. I had a Junk Guys shirt on. And he goes, "Hey, I guess he had never heard of Junk Guys." He goes, "Hey, you do junk in that van?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh, yeah." He had a small NPR dump truck. And he goes, "Yeah, you can fit a lot in that." And I looked at his truck. I go, "I'm going to fit more than you can, dude." And he goes, "Really?" I go, "Yeah, look." I opened the back door. She was like, "Damn, this thing is huge." I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, we put stuff above that." I said, "I don't need to put stuff above because my place is big. My thing's already big. I can fit in it, dude." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "You don't have to tarp it." I said, "Nah, dude." I said, "So my van is 16 foot long." He goes, "Oh, ours is 12. I was like, "Yeah, I know, dude." He goes, "But yeah, but we can go up like really high." And I said, "Well, I can go about 8 foot in mine." He goes, "Yeah, that's what we're required to do." He goes, well, good luck with your business, man. Is that your only van?" And I'm thinking, is that my only van? He asked me, "Oh yeah, we got 2 trucks." He said this to me. He said, "We got 2 trucks, and we're looking to buy another one pretty soon." I said, "Well, good. Congratulations, bro. That's great. You know, grow your business." He goes, "Yeah." He said, "Are you going to get another van or a dump truck like mine?" I'm like thinking to myself, dude, I've been through every van, every truck, every trailer in my 18 years. I said, "Yeah, I'll think about it, dude." I just told him. In my head, I was like, "Don't waste your time with this rookie, dude. Don't even teach him the life." And if this guy knew I had like 7 trailers, trucks galore. You know, the other day, I was sitting there on my lot, and I have another van just like this one, right? Just like this one, identical to this one. I bought them both at the same time. And I looked at my other van, and we're using the other van for my haunted house right now. And then I have a small Econoline van, a really small van. And then I have a diesel truck, a Hummer, a Ford F550, big truck. And I was thinking there, dude, just right there, I have like 5 trucks. I still own 5 trucks. And then my trailers, I have a white box truck. I have a red box truck that I did a video just the other day. I have these 2 vans. I have my little small Econoline. I was like, yeah, I got enough trailers. And then I have the 2 mini dumpsters too. Oh my gosh. I still got stuck with 2 mini dumpsters. And just that right there, by itself, I'm thinking, dude, and I have 2 home bases, right? I have a base in Dallas and I have a base in Fort Worth. And I was just thinking, this guy, if he only knew the business that I have, I'll let him with this little truck, that he can park at U-Haul. I don't have to park my stuff at U-Haul. I have headquarters. I park all my vans. As a matter of fact, all the stuff in my van right now is going to one of my headquarters right here in Dallas. I'm almost there. I'm going to unload it, and then I'm going to go to a house and fill it back up for $500, maybe $600. I'm not sure. It doesn't matter, but I'm going to take my time because it's my only job of the day. And this lady was funny because she said, "Are you working on Mondays?" And I said, "Yeah." Not thinking it was Labor Day. I had no idea it was Labor Day. Like, my wife's at home, passed out asleep right now. I never thought it was Labor Day today. Ever. Which is pretty funny. My bad. Simplicity, guys. Sometimes the simple things are the easiest things. Oh, I want to tell you about this really easy job I got the other day. Oh, it was so cake. It was a Saturday. No, it's the day that Texas lost. This Saturday morning, I show up to a medical clinic out in Plano, Texas. Everything was dead. There's nothing, no other cars in the medical clinic. Parking was galore. I pull up. I pull up to the medical clinic, and the lady's inside. She says, "Hey, how are you here? My brother used you one time and recommended you. She said you were really good, really fast, and really dependable." I'm like, "Okay, cool. I don't know who your brother is. I don't give a fuck." So I pull up, and I pull back, and she's got easily $300 worth of trash. $300. And she said, all this medical equipment, and it's in the truck right now. And I go, okay. And I said, do you want an estimate? She goes, whatever it is, I believe you. I said, really? And I said, okay. And I said, well, it's going to be $350. I told her. She said, okay, that's fine. That's great. That's great. That's great. I started working. It took me 20 minutes, maybe 25. No, it took me so much less. I loaded everything really quick. And I took my time. I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to hurt myself. I took my time. And she goes, hey, can you take these boxes? I said, yeah. Can I dump them in the dumpster? She said, yeah. So I started taking all these boxes. So now it's 30 minutes long. And then I said, what are you going to do with this stuff over here? She goes, do you want it? And I said, well, I can donate it. Let me just load it. I started loading. At that time, I started doing way more things than what she asked me for. You know what I mean? I'm like doing way more things than what she asked me for. Way more. I started loading all this stuff, and I sit there and I help her organize some of the things, move things around. And at the end, this lady writes me a check for $650. I had no idea why. And I was like, God, this is an easy job. Man, this is an easy job. Anyway, I thought I'd let y'all know that. I'm here at my headquarters right now, guys. I gotta go. I'll see y'all later and unload this shit really fast, okay?